Welcome back. 3 months ago, I cheated on my boyfriend. It was something insignificant to me. There was no emotional connection, and I was completely over it once it was over. But the consequences found me 3 months later. A few days ago, he broke up with me because he feels like he doesn't trust me anymore, and I understand. I can't force him to be with me after what I did. I feel miserable, and I'm undergoing therapy. Hopefully he and I can get through this, each on their own. I would like your opinions on the matter, obviously. 3 months ago, I was sent to another city for work, and there I encountered one of the colleagues from the branch of our company in that city. This person was younger than me, and we had a friendly dynamic that was purely platonic. One day, while hanging out with a friend and another acquaintance, we decided to get drunk. Bad decision. We all got quite drunk, and during this time, the colleague messaged me. I invited him over too, and he arrived shortly after. My friends who knew this colleague greeted them and then started watching the game together. After a while, he came out of the den and headed to where I was. I wasn't watching the game because I'm not very interested in football. The colleague and I sat together and started chatting. However, as the night progressed and we got drunk, we started flirting and things got out of hand when my friend and the acquaintance headed to the bedroom upstairs, which left me and colleague. Eventually, the sexual tension became too much, and we ended up doing it on the sofa and in the living room. We engaged in various sexual positions, standing and against the wall, using the sofa for support, etc. The encounter was passionate and pleasurable, leading us both to reach climax. Unfortunately, the excitement and physical activity resulted in a wet and messy sofa that smelled strongly of sex. We couldn't clean it properly, and the lingering scent made me feel embarrassed to face my friends afterward. So I insisted we leave before they came out of the room. After that, the colleague accompanied me back to where I was staying in the city. We slept together again and woke up the next morning together. I was so ridden with guilt at that point over what I did, but what was done, so I bid my colleague goodbye. And for the rest of the trip, I kept my distance from him. Although my colleague kept wanting more, I turned him down because I didn't want to be any more disrespectful to my boyfriend than I had already been. A week later, I came back and things went back to normal and stayed normal till last week, when what I did reached my boyfriend. As of now, I still do not know if it was my colleague, friend, or acquaintance that outed me. Because they're all unreachable, but it doesn't matter anyway. My boyfriend gave me an ultimatum and said I needed to come clean if I wanted to salvage our relationship at all. So I spilled my guts out. But he broke up with me after I did. He said he was disgusted with me and called me an animal before he left to go stay with a mutual friend. It's been a couple of days, and I've not yet heard from him. He doesn't answer my calls, nor reply to my messages. His friend told me he's coping bad, not eating or sleeping properly, and even had some panic attack. He has a traumatic past with a cheating and abusive partner, so I guess this experience is bringing back the memories. Help me. I want so badly to ease his pain. I want him to see that I'm not like his ex. I didn't cheat for months on end. I made one drunken mistake, and I regretted it immediately. It could happen to anybody, even to him. You could be the most faithful partner, but then you get drunk, lose your faculties, and screw other people. It's bad. It's really bad, but I think it's a truth we need to be prepared to accept as adults. I want to make amends. How do I go about? Comments. I would walk away. You could have not told him at all, so good on you for coming clean. Probably knowing how he would react, but still not wanting to keep it from him. It's sex. People are so judgmental, but I say hold your head high and walk. You can't turn back time. He can either forgive and forget or be single. Don't waste years of your life trying to fix it. Sometimes I don't understand humans. Story 2. We're all in our late 20s and early 30s. First, I met my best friend and the guy I did the cheating with. We all worked together in the same place and stayed friends for the past 4 years. Both of them were in very committed relationships back then, and somewhere along the line, I met and fell in love with my boyfriend. She got with her new boyfriend and the other guy separated from his wife. My boyfriend and I have been together for 2 years, had our ups and downs, but we're essentially in a great place at the time being. Honeymoon phase in love and quite happy. Or at least, that's what I thought. I've been in a deep depression for many years. In and out of therapy, jobs, and meaningless non-relationships. Suddenly, I met my boyfriend and decided that I wanted to be better. He's the first man that I've ever had a serious relationship and learned with to maintain a healthy and enjoyable sex life. He didn't ask other than being with me and saw me go through the lowest parts of my supposed recovery with such patience that is beyond my comprehension. Of course, he's no saint, and we've had our qualms, but I know he always meant and did well by me when confronted. In 2 years, I went from a sorry-ass mess to an increasingly functional adult. Went through absolute hell in the process and effed up one first time. It was when he and I were drifting apart earlier this year. In a nutshell, he was very preoccupied with work and other more serious things and was shutting me out. Barely seeing each other or even talking. Without trying to justify what happened then, I'll just say that this other guy gave me the Zoom attention I was craving. But surprise, surprise, it only gave me a terrible and crap feeling that made me swear to never ever do it again. Now, I feel I have to provide context to how this dude and I grew closer and why it came to be so complicated. He lives in the same house as my ex-best friend, her boyfriend, and her 2 kids from other marriages, one of them in her teens. It's a sort of commune arrangement they have between them, and it seems to have worked out well for the most part. Except when drama comes its way, which is not rare because there's a lot of alcohol, drugs, and mental disorders at play. In this case, it was my drama. As I said, I was hurt, sad, in a very destructive mental space when the first transgression happened. It was early into the pandemic. We were all binging on many substances and spending just too much time together in isolation. I told her immediately in hopes she would comfort me and help me figure out what to do next, since I did it for her before more than once in similar situations, aka cheating. She kinda did it first, advised me to never tell my boyfriend what happened, and I agreed. Water under the bridge, I thought. Turned out she was extra upset both with me and the other guy. Ghosted me for weeks and assumed there was an affair going on under her nose the whole time. Said she didn't want to be in the middle of that kind of secret, which put everything, the friendship, in jeopardy. Personally, at the moment, and knowing her as I did, felt like it was quite a big assumption that there had been foul play other than that one time. And also that with the same direction and comprehension I always showed to her, there simply was no need for her to be so judgmental. Here I want to clarify that I know the moral implications of all these decisions and how my boyfriend never deserved anything that I did. I believed nevertheless that working on myself in our relationship, as we eventually did, would be for the better since there was so much love at play. So I don't feel justified, but I really got to forgive myself for that first time and swore that I would never tell and never do it again, as I already said. It was hard, it was a very lonely task, and all the guilt I felt, I carried it till it wasn't there anymore. I stayed away from the group for a while, stopped binging, and they did too. Got back on my writing. We're all in new exciting projects that are actually interesting. And I was literally at the most in love with my boyfriend and life itself. And then that night it happened again. I got so drunk, I was falling, mumbling, and I have only flashing recollections of how it ended like that. This time it was self-evident to everyone in the house. Best friend, best friend's boyfriend, and eldest daughter. Since I slept in his room, so there was no hiding. And I think there really is no hiding. My boyfriend doesn't know nor suspect, I'm sure. The secret would remain with them without a doubt. But to keep it down like last time will take so much more from me that I don't know if I can do it. And then there's the fact that the friendship is pretty much broken, maybe beyond repair. She made the other guy get rid of me that morning, refused to talk to me till yesterday, and now we're exchanging texts of biblical length. It's quite possible that she will evict the guy at this point. It's all pretty horrible, and I can't believe I caused all of this in a single night. I know I broke my own heart, and other hearts have and could be broken too. I'm so blinded by anger and shame with myself that I can't even begin to fathom the next step. Thinking about telling him and scar him like that, maybe forever, independently that we stay together or not, makes me physically hurt. I fear that all the growth I thought I had was nothing but a lie. More than anything, I fear I already lost him. Currently, you are not in a healthy state to be in a relationship with anyone. Your actions will inevitably cause lasting issues for both yourself and the people involved. It is crucial that you have an honest conversation with him, taking full responsibility for your actions. Avoid making it solely about yourself. Once you've communicated the truth, it's best to step away and end the relationship. Your behavior has significantly damaged what was once a good relationship. Comments. Twice in a row, you definitely gotta own up to it and come clean with your boyfriend. You know the moral implications of your actions, but dealing with it on your own when in reality you and your boyfriend are both in the relationship with each other is wrong. Don't let it come from somebody else's lips. Be the adult, own up to your mistakes, and tell your boyfriend. You're scarring him as we speak by acting like nothing happened and giving him the pretense he's in a faithful relationship. Please do the right thing. You should definitely tell him and deal with the consequences. Not only did you cheat on him twice, you're willingly withholding that information from him and keeping him from making a conscious decision to stay with you and work through it, or simply leaving. I also think you should tell him, because if you guys stay together, it's an opportunity to consciously show him that you've changed and for him to see that. Not only for you to feel better about what you did, but to actually show him that you are different. If you break up, it's an opportunity that you should take to work on yourself and improve.